Everyone thought he was a weak orphan in a new world with E-rank skills, but he takes revenge on everyone by destroying them. Mimo was a troubled kid who got abused in his own house by his mother's new boyfriend after his father's death. The poor kid got beaten up every day while getting barely anything to eat as he cowered in the corner covering himself, while his horrible mother watched the television, ignoring her shouts of pain. He ended up growing up to be a lonely kid who was weak and didn't have any confidence. He wakes up from a nightmare of getting beaten up by his stepfather when he hears the bully of his class named Sho messing with a nice girl named Aya. He takes away her book and waves it around the air, making fun of her for reading girly novels, because this negative imbecile can't understand that a girl will read girly novels. Mimo imagines how, in a TV show, he would stop the bullying and win everyone's admiration, but he knows that in reality, no one on the bus cares, and if he stands up for her, his weak frame will only get him beaten up. Most popular students support Sho, while the others laugh along to avoid being targeted. The teacher is useless, asleep, as Sho relentlessly demands the girl's phone number. Before he realizes it, Mimo stands up, looking Sho in the eye, and tells him to leave Aya alone. Sho laughs, calling him a simp and weak, when suddenly Kiri, the most popular guy in class, tells Sho to give the book back. Sho obeys and returns the book to the girl, then moves on to bully another nerd, Yasu. Mimo questions why he stood up for Aya, an unusual act for him, but before he can dwell on it, everyone on the bus is transported to a different world. They are all utterly bewildered as they stand in a completely unknown place while a hot god stands atop a bridge and introduces herself as the goddess Visai. She explains that every time when the threat of a demon king appears, the kingdom of Alien summons brave warriors from a different world to defend their kingdom. 200 years ago, the demon king almost demolished their entire kingdom. But thanks to some heroes, the Demon King was soundly defeated and the entire demon army was destroyed. Unfortunately, the Demon King has gotten resurrected, which is why they have all been teleported to this world, to fight as the new heroes who will put an end to the Demon King. The students are utterly confused as they wonder whether they are dead, or is it some kind of a prank. Their teacher tells them to stay quiet and instructs them to hear what the goddess has to say. Mimo looks at the old architecture, the soldiers wearing armor and holding spear, and the goddess with the golden eyes, before pinching himself to check if he is dreaming. Kiri ends up speaking and asks the goddess what will happen if they don't cooperate with her, to which the goddess smiles and claims that she won't be able to send them back to their world. Kiri asks whether there really is a way to go back, and Visai replies that there is a reverse summoning ritual which can send them back. But to get that, they will have to kill the Demon King, as they will require a special part called the evil element, which will only drop if he dies. Sho screams at her for calling them to a new world without giving them a choice and refuses to help, but Visai goes down on one knee and begs them to help save her kingdom from destruction. Aya speaks up and tells the goddess that they are just humans who can't really do anything, but Visai promises that they have abilities that they had no idea about. Sho still thinks that all of this is a joke, so Visai decides to prove it, and calls forth a prisoner of war and a giant demon dog. She lets the giant demon dog loose, and it immediately lunges at the prisoner before killing him. Some of the girls are horrified at this and fall to their knees, while Visai looks at the demon before chanting a spell and completely blasting the monster into flames, removing it from existence. She calls the students forward and tells them that they are going to measure their latent abilities. One by one, all the students walk up to a crystal ball and check their abilities as it glows in different colors. After the nerds were through, Sho walks up to the crystal, and as soon as he puts his hand over the crystal, it starts glowing a bright red color. The goddess looks happy and claims that he has a rank skills. Finally, Kiri goes ahead, but as soon as he puts his hand over the ball, it starts glowing a bright golden before exploding. After that, Aya heads up, and even she turns out to be S rank, and after some more students, another girl walks up who turns out to be S rank. The guards are completely shocked, as Visai explains that even one S rank individual is considered extremely lucky, but to have 3 S ranked people is unreal. Finally, Mimi walks up to the Krista, but when he puts his hand over the ball, it starts glowing a dim purple color. The goddess doesn't even give him a second thought and tells the next person to come up. Mimo tries to ask what rank he is, but she completely ignores him, so he walks away, realizing that even in this world, he is going to stay a background character. After that, Yasu the nerd walks over to the crystal, who turns out to have a special dark ability inside of him which another dark hero possessed a while ago and became the strongest. Finally, everyone checks their stats as the goddess tells them that they also have a personal ability which varies from person to person, before telling them that they have to perform a critical ritual now. She calls Mimo in the front, and he is immediately pushed by a guard. She sends him below in a dark pit and claims that Mimo is E-ranked, which is the lowest in the entire class. Historically, the E-ranked people have caused a lot of trouble, so they are usually killed. But since this time they got so many amazing heroes, she will give the E-ranker a chance to save his life, and he will be sent to the abandoned ruins, which is a dungeon far away where criminals and monsters are sent. She tells him that if he manages to survive, they will leave him alone and he will get the right to live, otherwise he can kiss his life goodbye. Mimo tries to argue, claiming that he can get better, but the goddess replies that he falls into the category of failure frame, which means that his stats are so low that even after training his ass off, he cannot get better. He gets pissed off and tells the goddess that he never chose to come here. He was summoned against his will and now is being disposed. But Kiri cuts him off and tells him that he is wasting everyone's time as the girls are already tired. While everyone agreed to him, Mimo falls to the ground, defeated, when Yasu walks up to him. Mimo remembers the time when he helped Yasu after he got bullied, but Yasu rejects him and tells him that an E-ranker should talk with more respect to their superiors. Mimo loses all hope as the goddess commences the ritual and throws a leather bag as his special item, which is completely useless. Aya tries to defend Mimo by saying that this is wrong. Frustrated beyond belief, he raises his arm and uses the paralyze spell at the goddess, who easily manages to block it, before calling Mimo a loser for even trying to hit her with his E-ranked skills. Kiri also tries his spell, which creates a huge fireball, as he claims that he was just checking by letting a small amount of mana in the spell. Everyone laughs at the power difference between a loser like Mimo and themselves, while Mimo simply puts his head down as tears fall down his cheeks. He remembers how his younger self used to cry, when suddenly his soul tells him to stop acting like a good person and show them the true nature of your heart, the nature that you have been trying to repress for so long. Mimo finally lets it all go as he looks up with hate-filled eyes and tells the goddess that she is a rotten hoe, and warns him to be ready for him if he ever comes back alive. He immediately gets transported into a dark cave where he tries to open his status but fails because of the low light. He pours some mana into the leather bag and the gem starts glowing, which he uses as a lantern as he moves through the cave. Suddenly he realizes that he has been walking on skeletons, which scares him. He wonders what could have killed all these people when a monster tries to attack him, which he barely dodges and starts running away. The monster starts chasing him while Mimo runs with all his might, thinking whether he should turn around and fight, but his heart knows that the level difference is so great that he will simply die the moment he stops. He starts crying out of fear and gets knocked to the ground because of a rock jutting out of the floor. He turns around to see his death in its face, while frustration over his life takes command of his body. Just as the monster was about to kill him, Mimo ends up trying a last-ditch effort to save his life and shoots the paralyze spell, which to his surprise actually petrifies the monster in place. He immediately gets up and starts running away, but soon he reaches the end of the cave where another bird demon walks up to him, with the raw intent of killing him. Mimo immediately raises his arm once again and uses the paralyze spell, which again freezes the enemy. He realizes that it wasn't a fluke and his spell actually works. But he starts feeling tired, so he opens his stats and notices that his mana was almost completely gone. He realizes that he has another skill left, so he tries to cast a poison spell on the monster, which works very well as the demon starts turning black and bleeding from its body. Mimo sits down on the cave floor wondering why his spells are being so effective against these demons when suddenly he hears something behind him. He turns around to see that the Minotaur demon has managed to break off the spell, and is ready to land the killing blow on Mimo. But this time, instead of running away, all the hatred for everyone who treated him badly comes back to him, and even after being completely depleted, he raises his arms towards the demon, determined that from now on he will kill to live his life, and challenges the demon to fight him, not knowing whether he will survive this time or not. His body quickly goes into a flight or fight mode, where he starts thinking about any way to escape this situation, while he gets completely surrounded by multiple monsters waiting to devour him. He wonders what will happen if he tries to use skills even though he doesn't have any mana as in the games he played. When a person did that, they ended up dying. He decides that he doesn't have any options, as if he doesn't try, he is definitely getting killed. So he turns towards one of the monsters and uses his paralyze spell on it. The spell doesn't work, and the monster starts attacking him relentlessly, while he tries to dodge and back off. He realizes that using the same spell twice on a monster won't be very useful, when suddenly he notices that he has unlocked a new spell called Sleep. Just when the monster was about to flatten him into dirt, Mimo ends up using the Sleep spell on it, and to his surprise, the monster stops in its tracks and falls over to the ground, motionless. He immediately uses his poison spell on the beast as well, so that it doesn't come back to attack him later, but using these skills without having any mana is taking a toll on his health. Before he could even make a plan, he notices that a huge horde of monsters is running towards him at full speed, while he wonders whether he has enough health to deal with all these monsters or not. He uses his magical bag as a flashbang, which blinds the monsters, after which he starts using his paralyze spell on all of them, stopping them immediately. He stands there wondering whether he should use poison spell on all of them as well, but realizes he doesn't have enough health for that. Suddenly, to his horror, a bunch of other monsters emerge from the depths of the dungeons, completely overwhelming his senses. But he decides that he won't die without a fight, and starts using his paralyze ability on any monster that would come near him. Soon his body starts feeling heavy as he feels dizzy, but he manages to stand his ground. But just when everything seemed lost, he ends up leveling up. Immediately his mana gets replenished and his status gets an upgrade, which helps him fire off even more paralyze spells on the enemy, saving himself for the time being. He realizes that he got leveled up because the bird monster died thanks to his poison spell. This gives him an idea as he starts paralyzing all of them, determined to gain as many levels as possible, while he fights for his life. He realizes that he has gotten a new skill, which lets him target a whole group at once, so he paralyzes them all together, as he wonders why his spell didn't work on the goddess, because ever since he came to this dungeon, the success rate has been 100%. He then casually walks past all of the enemies, while using his poison spell on them. He levels up once again when the monsters start dying, so he sits down on a rock, smiling as he realizes that he has created a real-life XP farm from Minecraft with which he can gain a lot of levels. He checks his status and is stunned to see that he is already level 250, and his mana point is insanely high as well. Another monster dies and he again gains multiple levels at once. He then uses his sleep spell on all of them to level up the spell as well, and again when the monster died he got a bunch of levels, to the point where he became level 500 within a matter of minutes. He decides that with these many levels, he can definitely make it out of here alive, but decides to keep his guard up as there are a lot of monsters alive still. He stands up and looks at the remaining monsters, when suddenly they turn around and start running away from him. He scavenges whatever pieces of equipment he can acquire from the dead body of adventurers lying around and manages to find himself a cloak and some other small items. He starts walking deeper into the cave with even more monsters, but realizes that he hasn't eaten in a while and is extremely hungry. He has no idea where he can find food, but then he remembers the monsters that he has already killed. He returns back to the scene of massacre and finds a monster on which the poison spell has worn off. He then takes out his sword and tries to hack a piece of meat from it, only to realize that the skin is too hard. Discouraged, he wonders whether even after killing every monster, he will end up dying of hunger. Suddenly, he notices the gem on the bag glowing a weird purple, so he gets up to inspect it. To his surprise, he opens it to find some jerky and a bottle of Coke inside. This brings tears to his eyes as he hungrily drinks the liquid, almost choking on it. He starts munching on the jerky in peace, wondering how this bag works, and whether he will get more food from it or not. 2 days pass by since he arrived at the dungeon, and soon enough he became strong enough that he could defeat huge hordes of deadly monsters easily, while simply sitting down on a rock and spamming spells on them, thanks to his near-infinite mana pool. He looks around himself at the scene of massacre, and wonders sadly what he did so wrong in life that he is being treated this way. He remembers how, when he was young, he used to dream of killing his mother's boyfriend, knowing that if he didn't kill the man, one day the man would definitely kill him. Thankfully for him, his life took a turn when his aunt and uncle saved him from his miserable life and started taking care of him. It was then he decided to become a good human being who was always kind to others, but he snaps back to reality looking around the mayhem he has caused while he feels no sadness at their death. He realizes that he was always a monster and decides to accept it, as he gets leveled up again to level 950. After that, he wanders even deeper into the dungeon where he finds a floating eye monster which he kills immediately with his paralyzed poison combo and moves ahead. He finds a room where 2 adventurers seem to have died, so he checks their belongings and finds a bag full of gems which he takes and moves on. He finds a giant room which he opens it to find another skeleton inside. He finds the wound from which the man died and finds a parchment of paper with some words on it. He reads it to find out that the skeleton belongs to the Dark Hero Visi was talking about. The Dark Hero writes that he was sent here by the evil goddess Visi when she had no use for him, and tells anyone who finds this letter to never trust the goddess. He angrily folds the parchment in his hands, realizing that Demon King is not the only evil person in this world, as he himself and the goddess both are equally evil. Inside the hero's bag, he finds a giant magical book filled with dark magic techniques on making items and spells. He checks the scroll beside it, but is unable to read it, so he puts it in his bag before taking the dead hero's clothes. He suddenly notices a splatter of blood on one of the pages which said that the Soul Eater killed everyone. Mimo thanks the dead hero and walks outside through the galleries till he finds a giant door. He realizes that he needs to fit something for the door to open, so he checks his stats only to see that he is level 1200 now. He wonders whether he is strong enough to kill the Soul Eater, which is present in the next hallway. He tries to enter it, but immediately gets attacked by a beam which graces his hand, forcing him to bandage it. He wonders how can he defeat such an entity which even defeated the Dark Hero, which means that this Soul Eater is definitely the final boss and the key to escape this place. Suddenly, the Soul Eater starts moving forward and pukes out a bunch of goop, which turns into half-dead humans that start walking towards Mimo. He paralyzes them, but is unable to use poison as they still look human, while the Soul Eater breaks through the wall and starts screaming. Mimo is left in mental agony as he tries to move back, but the monster pukes some more half-dead humans that push Mimo in a corner as he starts crying for someone to save him. This all seems to amuse the Soul Eater, who starts laughing at Mimo's agony, but THS is what he was waiting for. As soon as the monster dropped its guard, Mimo used Paralyze spell on it, and the Soul Eater drops to the floor with a look of surprise. Mimo laughs at the monster, claiming that he finessed the demon with his acting skills, as that was the only way for him to drop his defenses. He tells the monster that all his life he pretended to be a good human who was kind to others and would never hurt anyone, but now his true self is coming out. He doesn't care how many half-dead humans he pukes out, as it wouldn't matter to him. He is in a kill or be killed world, so any moving thing with the intention to hurt him, regardless of whether it's a monster, a half-dead human, or an actual live human, he will kill them all the same without any regrets. The Soul Eater starts bleeding from its eye while Mimo simply walks up and uses sleep spell on everyone around him to finish them once and for all. After a while, the Soul Eater ends up dying, and suddenly, a bunch of souls escape from its body and become ethereal forms of humans who thank him for beating this monster, as they were trapped inside this demon with no way of escaping while it killed even more humans. Finally, the Dark Hero emerged, and he simply told him to deal with the evil goddess before disappearing. Mimo grabs the gem from the Soul Eater and walks towards the main gate. As he puts the gem in the door and it opens, he wonders what he will do with the bitch goddess once he gets her hands on her. Meanwhile, in the forests outside the royal capital, the rest of Mimo's classmates are hunting demons to level up. While Sho runs after a demon dog with a sword, Kiri burns down another monster with his powerful skill, successfully reaching level 18. In another location, the nerd Yasu, whose personality has flipped 180 degrees, burns some monsters with his dark flames and laughs on hearing its cries. Far away from them, a timid and pure girl named Koba hesitates to kill any monsters, but a bully girl called Asagi asks her to kill the monsters, or she will lose her life because this is the first test given to them by the goddess. Asagi keeps Koba on a tight leash and tells her that soon, the class will fall apart, and various factions will form because there are a lot of selfish people there. Asagi is a B rank, and she plans to create her own fraction with the girls that rally after her. She knows that since Koba is only D rank, she will not be accepted by Kiri's faction or the other powerful ones, and even Aya won't be able to take her in because she will die soon. Koba panics on hearing this, but Asagi tells her to not worry about useless details. She just wants Koba to be her cute little plaything, and for her sake, she has asked the girls of her faction to trap a monster which she can easily finish. Asagi asks Koba to kill the monster and pass the test given to them by Vic, or she will be disposed of like Mimo. Koba doesn't want to kill the pitiful monster, but Asagi eggs her on, practically forcing her to do it. Eventually, she kills the monster, but that act of violence leaves her devastated, and she recalls the time Mimo helped an injured stray kitten. She begins crying, thinking that she could not help Mimo. Meanwhile, Aya also returns to her senses, and the pain in her gut reminds her of how the goddess knocked her out before sending Mimo away. She immediately goes to confront Goddess Vic, who puts on a third-rate acting show, saying that she was also deeply hurt to send Mimo to danger, but it is their kingdom's policy. She adds that the ritual to dispose off the weakest member of the group will continue, and in the time Aya was asleep, she has already sent the weaklings who couldn't kill a single demon away as well. Aya truly hates the goddess at this point and tells her that her way of doing things is wrong. Vic just laughs it off, saying that everyone is entitled to have different opinions, but it doesn't mean that she will try to accommodate them. Aya then suggests that as an S-rank hero, she will work really hard and cover for those who cannot perform well enough. In return, she wants Vic to not banish them. Vic accepts her idea and then asks Aya to shake hands with her so that they can bury the past and start their relationship with a fresh perspective. Far away from them, in the dark forests bordering the abandoned ruins, a woman is running away from a group of nasty bandits that are pursuing her. However, she is too careless and leaves easy clues for the group of bandits, who plan to let her run as much as she wants, because they will eventually corner her and hunt her down. At the same time, Mimo has just come out of the ruins. He looks at his stats before going out and finds that his mana is over 59,000. However, he is more interested in finding out the details of his skills right now. He finds that he can use the paralyze skill on particular body parts of his target in addition to their whole body. He can also weaken his poison skill to make it non-lethal. He plans to test it out as soon as he runs into some demons, but as he keeps walking, he hears some squeaking sounds coming from behind the trees. He finds that a bunch of slimes are bullying a smaller slime, and Mimo feels pity for the little guy. However, the little slime has more guts than the average bullied kid, and it fights back against its bullies. Mimo decides that it is the correct time to test his new skills, so he paralyzes all the slimes, and then uses the non-lethal poison on the bully slimes. He then dispels the poison and paralyze skills from the bully slimes, and makes them run away. He then turns to the small slime and tells him that he did good in fighting off the bullies. Mimo tells the slime that he is going to release it from the paralyze skill, and asks it not to attack him. He releases the paralyze skill and goes on his way, but the slime starts following him instead. Mimo thinks that the slime is also an outcast like him, so he decides to adopt it. He puts the slime in his hood so that it can keep watch behind his back and alert him in case of any danger. Meanwhile, Mimo reads the book on forbidden arts by the Dark Hero. There is a recipe about a medicine that can strengthen even slimes. Mimo talks to the little slime, informing him that he is on a journey for vengeance against those who wronged him. He asks the slime if he still wants to follow him, and he affirms. Mimo is glad to hear that, and he names the slime Pigimaru, and the slime likes his new name. Mimo keeps walking ahead with that, when suddenly, he is surrounded by the bandits after the mysterious woman. The bandits were trying to make her run out of stamina, but on the way, they picked another presence so they came here for some fun. The leader of the bandits asks Mimo to hand over everything of value he has, and then they may spare him. Mimo is terrified now, because the bandits look terrifying, and he has not fought any human before. The bandits get into an argument about hurrying to catch the girl as opposed to wasting time with random nobodies, and Mimo tries to sneak away using this chance. However, the leader of the bandits tells him to stop immediately. Mimo begs him to let him live, but this makes the bandit even more intent about killing him. He rushes towards him, but it turns out Mimo was just acting to be scared. He uses his paralyze skill to immediately stops the bandit leader's movement, and then he takes his time to berate the bandits, calling them scum because even though they are much weaker than the demons of the ruin, their evil intentions are even more intense than them. Even Piggy is furious at the bandits, and Mimo says that killing such people won't weigh on his conscience, and he would rather be happy that he eased the burden on Earth significantly. He casts poison spell on all the bandits, and once they all die, Mimo notices another presence nearby. The presence belongs to the mystery girl, who has used a special technique belonging to her tribe to summon a spiritual armor to protect herself. She can also feel Mimo's presence and tell that someone really powerful is nearby, but the vibe they give off is quite uncertain. The girl doesn't want to leave things to chance, so she swings her sword around, cutting through a bush where Piggy was hiding. Just then, Mimo arrives behind her and paralyzes her. She stutters as she asks what does he want, and he says that he just wants information because he is new to this area and knows nothing about it. The girl asks him about the 4 bandits, and Mimo asks if they are her comrades. She refuses, and he believes that she is telling the truth because she is not oozing out evil intent like them. He removes the paralyzed skill just from her head so that she can talk freely, and warns her not to try anything funny or he will kill her. Mimo comes in front of the girl and clearly tells her that because of a lot of reasons, he doesn't trust anyone, much less strangers he is meeting for the first time. Before he can start questioning her, the girl asks him what happened to the 4 bandits. Mimo tells her that he killed all of them, and the girl can't believe it, because the bunch of thugs was apparently known for being really strong. She asks Mimo if he fought the 4 of them alone or if he received help, but he refuses to give her any details. The girl believes that Mimo is not a bad guy, so she decides to trust him and says that she will answer any question he asks honestly. Mimo also starts trusting her a bit more because of her cooperative attitude, but it is not enough to free her. They begin talking, and Mimo learns that right now, he is not in the Alien Kingdom, but in the forest of the Urza Kingdom to the south. He learns a lot of things, and then finally asks the girl if she can read the forbidden spell scroll. She can only tell him that it is written in a rather special type of ancient script which almost no one can read. However, she knows someone who can. She tells Mimo about a person called the Forbidden Witch, who was banished from her homeland because she was deemed too dangerous because of her excessive knowledge. The girl tells Mimo that if he wants to meet the witch, he should go to the Golden Demon Zone, which is a dangerous area in the middle of the continent. Mimo thanks the girl for all the valuable info, and she thanks him in return because he saved her from the bandits. Mimo says that the information makes it even, and the girl wishes him the best of luck. He thinks that she is too honest and innocent for her own good, which reminds him of his aunt. Anyway, he decides to take his leave after telling the girl that the paralysis spell will come undone in a few minutes, and then she can go on her way. Piggy also hops behind Mimo and then climbs on his shoulder. They talk about how it is unlikely that the girl may attack them once she is freed from the paralyzed spell, but Mimo still wants his slime partner to watch his back just in case, and he is eager to help in any way he can. Mimo soon reaches a small town called Mills, and the female knight on guard duty is rather nosy about his business. She thinks that he is a country bumpkin from somewhere who came here to work as a mercenary and raid some ruins. However, she gives him the permission to go inside, because the lord of the town has given orders to let all mercenaries inside, especially those who plan to raid the ruins. Mimo thanks her as he heads inside, and thinks that the security is very lax here because they didn't even check his luggage or ask for an identification document, but that works out in his favor. He soon reaches an inn, where a grumpy old man receives him. He is not friendly to Mimo initially, but just as he shows him a silver coin, the man begins acting like his personal attendant. He asks for his name, and Mimo adopts the fake name Hattie to stay at the inn. At night, he takes a walk around the town to find that it is quite peaceful, even though there are a lot of outsiders and mercenaries here. He finds that they have all the shops one would expect from a town of this scale in an Isekai anime, and there is also an adventurer's guild. Once Mimo collects all the info he can before heading back to the inn and eats some food. He keeps pretending that the food is delicious even though it is not as per his taste. He keeps his keen ears pointed at the drunk men sitting on the table beside him so that he can gather some information about this world. The drunk men are talking about the strongest knight orders in the continent. One of them talks about the holy knights under the mad Emperor Falcon who have never lost a war. Other men name other popular knight orders, and they believe that the magic knights of their Urza kingdom are not inferior to them in any way. However, all the men unanimously believe that the strongest knight order in the continent is the Black Dragon Knights, who burnt down the holy kingdom of Nia in record time. They begin fanboying over the strength of the Black Dragon Knights, who also have the strongest hero killer in the world among them. Mimo has heard enough, so he takes his leave and takes along some food to feed his pet slime Piggy. While the slime is eating rice, Mimo begins formulating a plan for future. He thinks that first, he should find the person who can read the forbidden magic spell for him. He recalls that the girl in the forest told him to meet the forbidden witch in the Golden Demon Zone. Before that, he plans to use a strengthening agent to increase Piggy's strength. Suddenly, he recalls that the drunk men were also talking about a newly found layer of ruins in their territory, which has attracted mercenaries from all over the place, and the town is thriving. Mimo thinks that he can find the Skeleton King's bones in the ruins, which are the most important part in creating the strengthening agent. So the next morning, he joins the rest of the mercenaries who plan to raid the ruins. They are greeted by Marquis Creed, who is the lord of this region. Creed tells everyone about a new lair that has been found in the mill's ruins, and declares a reward of 300 gold coins for anyone who discovers the ultimate treasure of the ruins called the Cup of the Dragon's Eye. He promises to buy all the loot from the dungeon at a high price and tells the mercenaries that they can keep the drops from monsters to themselves. The registration process starts with that, and Mimo's attention goes to a douchebag noble called Flash trying to hit on a girl who has covered herself with a hood. She asks him what he wants, and Flash remarks that her voice sounds like a certain leader of the Holy Knight army of the ruined kingdom of Nia. His words create a wave of gossips among other mercenaries who wonder if the Night Princess of Nia is really here, because she has a huge bounty on her head. The douchebag keeps flirting with the woman aggressively, telling her that even her jugs are the same size as the elf princess who once refused his offer to have dinner with him. The woman tells him that he has got the wrong person, so he asks her to remove her hood and prove that she is a human and not an elf. He is confident that once he takes off her hood, her pointy ears will reveal that she is an elf, and since he already recalls the face of the elf princess, he will be able to claim the bounty on her head. However, when he removes the hood, the girl has normal human-shaped ears, and Flash is taken aback. Mimo recognizes the girl as the same one he met in the forest, but he doesn't interfere in her matters because she sends the douchebag running away in humiliation by herself. After that, Mimo heads to the store to buy some equipment, but he crosses the hooded girl who recognizes him. She approaches him and begins talking about the raid. Mimo warns her to be careful about how she deals with douchebags because the man from earlier may come to hurt her out of spite. She replies that she doesn't care and explains that she deliberately acts rude to people so that they leave her alone. Mimo then asks the girl for her help in buying some tools for the ruin exploration, because he fears that he may get ripped off. He promises to pay her for her services, and the girl gladly takes the offer because she is in need of money. She shakes hands with Mimo, introducing herself as Mist, and he realizes that it is a fake name. He introduces himself as Hattie too, but explains that he also has some circumstances like her, which is why he is also using a fake name. Mist helps Mimo buy some good equipment, and he gives her 3 silver coins for her advice, which are more than she was expecting. She thanks him and starts leaving, but she suddenly collapses because of exhaustion. Mimo notices the dark circles under her eyes as he supports her, but Mist tells him that she just needs some rest and runs away. The next day, Mimo heads into the mill's ruins, and immediately finds some mercenaries running away from a demon calf that is the young version of the minotaurs Mimo fought in the previous ruins. He paralyzes and poisons the demon and then finishes it with his short sword. Meanwhile, the mercenaries call their senior to defeat the demon calf, and they are astonished to see that it has been defeated by someone using just one stab of a short sword. Unbothered by this, Mimo makes his way inside the ruins and finds that the demons here are not even a threat to him. On his way, he suddenly overhears the asshole named Flash asking 2 rugged mercenaries to help him kill Mist, because he can't bear to let anyone who humiliates him stay alive. He plans to torture her thoroughly before killing her, and then feed her to the demons. Mimo is disgusted by the way the filth of this world thinks, so he comes out of hiding to deal with them. Flash and his underlings get ready to finish him, and Mimo tries to test them by apologizing and saying that he will keep everything he heard a secret. Flash has no intention of letting him live, but just as he attacks, Mimo paralyzes him and his goons. He poisons them while they are paralyzed, and it feels oddly refreshing to get rid the world of filth like them. Mimo starts walking away, and Flash curses him, saying that he will get his revenge, but Mimo was leaving them alive only because some powerful demons were heading their way anyway. The demons eat the paralyzed jerks, and Mimo heads deeper into the ruins without any weight on his consciousness. He decides to take a small nap before heading to the deeper floors, and Piggy keeps watch as he sleeps. Mimo then heads deeper into the ruins, leaving dead monsters in his wake. Because of this, he is cornered by an experienced adventure party called Saber-Toothed Tigers. Their leader Lily and vice leader Foes say that they couldn't even find the cause of the monster's death, so they suspect that some extremely powerful enemy is present here. That is why they are planning to return to the surface to ensure their safety, and they only stopped Mimo to ask if he would like to come with them. He thanks them for their concern and keeps going ahead. He thinks that if he kills more demons and leave them scattered, even more mercenaries will get out of the ruins, and he will have better chances at getting what he wants. Eventually, he reaches the room where the Dragon Eye Cup is placed. Mimo notices a dragon statue behind it, and he has seen enough anime to know that the thing is going to attack him if he takes the cup. So he paralyzes and poisons it in advance, and then takes the cup as the monster dies. Just as he turns around, he finds Mist there, who is surprised to see that someone reached the room before her. She says that sleeping for a couple of hours costed her the grand prize, but to her surprise, Mimo has no problem handing over the cup to her. Mist is flabbergasted and asks what should she pay for it, but Mimo tells her that she can keep it because the persona he is wearing right now is extremely naive and susceptible, especially when pretty girls are involved. Mist can't take something worth 300 gold coins for free because it hurts her honor, but Mimo keeps telling her that he doesn't need the cup or money. He begins fiddling with the platform and opens a secret passage leading deeper into the dungeon. He tells the girl that what he wants is deep inside the next floor, and he used the recruitment offer just to get here. Mist suddenly offers to be his bodyguard to the next floor as a way to pay him for the cup. She is insistent that she will be helpful to him, and after thinking for a while Mimo agrees to take her along. He lays out two conditions. Firstly, she will not poke her nose into his personal circumstances, and second, he cannot guarantee that they will come out of the ruins soon. Mist immediately agrees and swears to protect him even with her life. They soon run into a creepy plant monster with golden eyes, and Mist makes quick work of it with her sword skills. Mimo applauds her, and then asks her about the golden-eyed demons. She replies that the golden-eyed demons are said to have a lot of experience points, and they help heroes from the other world level up quickly. She also adds that the otherworldly heroes can't get experience from killing humans, and thus they need to keep killing demons to level up. Mist also explains that it is said that a special magic element released by the Demon King is what turns normal creatures and demons into golden-eyed variants, making them more powerful and ferocious. This makes Mimo thinks about Kiri, the golden hero, and he gets an eerie feeling that his power may somehow be connected to all this. Soon, they come to a resting zone, and Mist says that she feels the presence of a monster nearby. Mimo realizes that it must be Piggy, so he brings the slime out and introduces it to Mist. They immediately become friends, and then Mimo asks her to take a nap because she badly needs it. She reluctantly agrees and lays on the bed, when suddenly, Piggy starts dancing in front of her. Mist is distracted, and using that chance, Mimo puts her to sleep with his skills. To his surprise, Mist suddenly glows and returns to her normal form, which is that of an elf. Mimo always had a hunch, but now he is certain that Mist is actually Siraz, the Princess Knight of the Holy Kingdom of Nia. Far away from them, in the forest where Mimo killed the 4 bandits pursuing Mist, the leader of the Black Dragon Knights is looking at the scene of carnage. He believes that Mist defeated the 4 powerful bandits herself, and he thinks that he will have fun fighting her the next time they meet. The next day as Mist wakes up, her transformation skill automatically activates, making her look like a normal human. They start their journey into the dungeon after that, and upon sensing the entire floor rumble and shake, they decide to run away. Suddenly, a giant monster breaks through the wall next to them, and Mist recognizes it as the Skeleton King. Mimo can tell that it is the boss monster of this dungeon because it is much stronger than any demon they faced. It suddenly starts activating her power, telling Mimo that she needs to use it to defeat the boss monster, but she also needs to keep it a secret from the world. She asks him to keep her secret as a special armor appears on her body, and Mist tells Mimo that in case she can't beat it, he should immediately run away. However, he takes action before her by paralyzing the boss monster with his skill. Mist is confused, but as Mimo casts the poison spell on the demon, Soon, the Skeleton King dies because of the poison, and then Mimo gets the bones that are needed to create the strengthening potion. They start walking back, when suddenly, Piggy alerts Mimo about something inside the Skeleton King's body. As soon as he takes the bundle in his hand, it starts to glow, and a strange symbol appears on it. On opening the bundle, Mimo finds a strange egg. But Piggy seems to be insistent about wanting it, so he decides to carry it with him. Far away from them, Mimo's classmates have also entered their first dungeon. Everyone escapes somehow, and Aya stands in front of the monsters, determined to stop them. However, before she can do anything, Sho and Kiri attack the monsters and defeat them in one go. But Kiri uses his attack without concern for his classmates, and Aya has to shield them. Kiri is proud of his strength and reveals that he is level 24 now. Mimo silently takes his leave. Mist follows him and informs him that she will get her reward from the Lord tomorrow in a public ceremony. Mimo asks if she is free till then, and on getting a positive answer, he asks Mist to come to his room at night so that they can talk about some things. She understands, and then grabs his hand just as he is leaving to thank him for the cup again. At night, Mimo is creating the strengthening agent when Mist shows up on his door. Mimo tells her that he wants to hire her as his escort for the rest of his journey. He is just trying to make her feel indebted to him by mentioning the cup, even though he doesn't like this tactic. Mimo then shows her a map, telling her that he wants to reach the Golden Demon Zone at the center of the continent to meet the Forbidden Witch. He claims that since there are many powerful monsters there, he needs someone skilled to fight by his side, and Mist is the only one he can trust. Mist seems uncertain about going to the dangerous area, and Mimo tells her that she can take her time to think about it. He then suddenly calls her by her real name, Ceres, and she responds out of habit. Only after that does she realize that she got played. He knew that the thing that bothered her the most about traveling with him was her secret, but now it is out in the open. Mist also stops hiding her secrets and says that she can hide her real form with the help of spirits, but they need her to sleep to replenish their power, and she returns to her original self in that time. She reveals her original form to Mimo, saying that she trusts him now. In response, he also tells her his real name, so that they are even. She agrees to join him as his escort, and freaks out on seeing it, because the crystal is actually a rare item called Blue Dragon Stone that is not circulated in the market anymore. Just this piece is worth more than the reward she got from turning in the cup to the Lord. She refuses to take something so precious and returns it to Mimo, who thinks that she is too good-natured for her own good. She reluctantly accepts it, and then tries telling Mimo about her backstory and the people who are still on hunt for her. However, he claims that he is not interested in her past, because as her employer, the only thing he cares about is her abilities. The next day, as they have breakfast together, the people in the inn begin saying nasty things about them. Mimo tells Mist to ignore them, and then asks what she knows about forbidden spells. She tells him that it was Goddess Visai who banned some ancient spells and classified them as forbidden spells. Mimo thinks that if the goddess banned them, the spells might be dangerous for her. He thanks Mist for the info, and she blushes because it is the first time he has thanked her openly. After that, Mist leaves to get her rewards. On Mist getting too late, and she has not yet received her reward. Just then, the Lord calls out a famous magician who can break illusions as a show for his also begins suspecting foul play. Back to his classmates, Aya visits Goddess Visai to inquire about treatment for the girl who lost her hand. Visai says that she healed the girl only because she was a B-rank hero. She then asks Aya if she is not joining Kiri's group, and tries to manipulate her into thinking that it is selfish of her to not partner with another S-rank hero. Despite being attacked by such manipulation techniques, Aya stays firm and says that she cannot work with Kiri at the moment. She swears to fulfill her duties as an S-rank hero herself, and on hearing this, Visai says that she will let all the students who could not pass the first trial with her so that she can train them. On Mimo's side, he thinks that either Mist has betrayed them and ran away after receiving the prize money, or something has happened to her. The first option seems unlikely, so he decides to meet her, and on the way, he hears people talking that the girl who got the cup turned out to be the wanted elf princess. They say that she ran into the forest after her secret was discovered, but it won't save her because the Black Dragon Knights are on her trail. Just then, 3 dragons appear in the sky and head towards the forest, where Mist is trying to run away. One of the Dragon Knights attacks her, and Mist first uses her spirit magic to bring it down with an aerial slash. She enchants her sword to defeat the second and the third Dragon Knight too. She is tired by fighting them despite them being low-ranking knights. Just then, a spear comes towards her, and she blocks it. A dragon is charging towards her, but Mist realizes that it is a decoy, and the real enemy is in front of her. So she rushes ahead and clashes swords with a high-ranking knight named Gizun, who tells her that she is going to die here. Mist can't use her spirit armor to fight at full strength because of the illusion-breaking spell earlier, and Gizun keeps pushing her back as he reveals that he got orders from a certain person to kill her on sight rather than capturing her alive. Mimo arrives there just situation and asks him what is he doing here. He puts Gizun to sleep before talking with Mist, and reminds her that they can't talk about private stuff when others are present. He tells her that he came back to pick her up, but she tells him that she cannot accept his job offer now, because he will also be pursued by the Dragon Knights if he is with her. She tells her that he cannot find a better escort than her, and neither can he be bothered with trying. He then abruptly asks her to undress, and Mist wonders if she heard that right. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, and check out this brand new anime about a weak salary man who transforms to become the strongest adventurer in the world.